What's the juiciest true school rumor at your school?
Story 1.
Two teachers that were married to each other were sleeping with students. The husband was the first to do it, and the wife found out and slept with some of her students as revenge. Also, the resource officer was sleeping with some of the 18-year-old seniors. All got confirmed when they were fired for it. Well, the teachers got fired. The officer got moved to bicycle patrol. I think he's ridden enough.
Story 2.
That there was a girl in the boys' bathroom giving BJs for $10. There really was, and she got expelled. $10. Way too cheap considering the risk.
Story 3.
That there is an underground bunker from the Cold War era below the school. Not only is it there, but it turns out you can access it from the PE changing room through a secret trapdoor.
Story 4.
The art teacher was sleeping with both the history teacher and the RE teacher. She was married to the chemistry teacher who she had previously had an affair with while married to the woodwork teacher. I believe she married the RE teacher sometime after I left school. This is better than a Mexican soap opera.
Story 5.
A younger male teacher, upper 20s, newlywed, was having sex in his classroom during lunch with an older female teacher, married in her mid-40s. A student caught them and filmed them, pretty much blackmailed them into turning themselves in. At least he was fucking a teacher and not a student.
Story 6.
We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial and business advice during the classes. One day he tabbed over to a stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation, some students found old newspaper articles confirming that he was a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. Was seriously a cool guy, actually.
Story 7.
A new kid comes to high school. He has a funny accent because his parents were missionaries, traveling all over the world. He was actually kind of cool, spoke at least 4 different languages, English, Spanish, Russian, Mandarin. He was super polite, and everyone liked him. Of course, he had haters, mainly the so-called bullies, a concept he never understood. Rumor began that he was well-versed in many forms of martial arts. He never denied or admitted to them. One of the bullies decided to find out. He was much bigger than the new kid. New kid did everything in his power not to escalate the fight, even took a punch from said bully. Well, I guess the rumor was true. Not only did the new kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Most awesome thing I ever saw in high school. Not only did the kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Thank you. This has made it onto my list of favorite things to look at when I'm old.
Story 8.
My 6th grade math teacher was super creepy. He would assign seats randomly, but always placed the girls in the front of the classroom, did the whole lingering stare thing, and was always trying to get people to hang out with him during lunch. I never did, but he was married and has a baby, so no one really suspected him of anything other than being creepy. Fast forward about 7 years, the teacher ended up being a sex offender. He had an ongoing relationship with a girl that began when she was 13. Based on what I could see from the various news articles, she was either in my year or the year before me. The police came to arrest him in the middle of his class, cuffed him in front of his students, and then had him walk throughout campus in cuffs and get in their car. I don't feel bad for him at all, but I can't imagine how his wife and son must feel. The exact same thing happened at my school, except he was an art teacher. What is wrong with the world?
Story 9.
This one girl would make those colorful friendship bracelets out of needlepoint floss for every guy she gave a BJ to. There were lots of bracelets. Like some kind of club or something. In middle school, a rumor floated around pretty much most of the school that the principal had a consistent record of sexual assault. And what do you fucking know? He got arrested for sexual assault when I was a freshman in high school. It was all over the news and everything.
Story 10.
The wood tech teacher was married to the French teacher. They had a child. The PE teacher fucked the French teacher. The wood tech teacher went to the PE department and threatened to beat the shit out of the PE teacher with a cricket bat. I believe this was during a normal school day, but it was before my year started there. A second PE teacher got involved and stopped it, so everyone kept their jobs. Later on, the wood tech teacher married the geography teacher, and they had kids, whilst the third PE teacher cheated on their husband with the second PE teacher, and every Wednesday, an hour before lunch, I would see PE teachers 2 and 3 through the window of my science classroom. They would get in a car and leave together. Sometimes I would see them come back, and sometimes I wouldn't. I jokingly pointed out to people before anyone else caught on, and later they became a couple that was known to students.
Story 11.
Teacher from my high school. Girls were creeped out by him and constantly reported him for making them uncomfortable. He was quite obese, belly hung to his knees. So the school and the other students wrongly assumed these girls were being rude. 6 years later, he's in prison after being caught with child porn on his computer, alongside upskirt photos of girls from my school. A girl blew the whole basketball team after a game. Don't know the exact details, just know the girl left and 3 kids got expelled. The rumor was that a boys' gym teacher and a senior girl in my class were involved. They got married when we graduated. He was at least 10 years older than she was.
Story 12.
Probably not the juiciest thing, but the one I remember because of how I found out. A few of our high school library's walls were weird, sort of a lowercase B shape. So there was this empty space behind the bookshelves up against the wall. Tunnels, basically. Word was students were fucking in there. I worked in the library. I had to move the shelves, clean the tunnels, found used condoms. It was an all-boys school at the time, if that matters. Mind, the condoms weren't the worst thing, really. The leftover food debris in there was worse, stuff like chicken bones.
Story 13.
There was a rumor that our female English teacher was sleeping with the starting quarterback, and that her youngest child was not her husband's but the quarterback's. She was caught sleeping with a different one of her students years later, and it is now known that she has slept with a number of former students, including the quarterback. Now people really think her youngest kid isn't her husband's.
Story 14.
When I was in middle school, the big joke rumor was that 2 teachers were banging. Years later, everyone finds out that not only are they having an affair outside of their respective marriages, but that the male teacher was cheating on both women with a man. The female teacher moved away and ended her own life. The entire situation was unbelievably messy.
Story 15.
Our math teacher was in high school and had a student teacher she was helping train take over for her when she went on maternity leave. The student teacher was maybe 20 or 21, and a fairly attractive young woman, so naturally all the guys in class had a crush on her. One guy in particular was a super senior and 18 and 19. He flirted with her non-stop, and she would act super embarrassed and blush in a non-committal way, tell him to knock it off. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Well, towards the end of the semester, he was bragging about going on a date with her and how they went to the movies, and he went back to her place and they had sex. We all thought he was full of shit, but the rumor got around the school, and of course the teachers and faculty found out. Then one day she was just gone, and we had to substitute teachers for the rest of the semester. We all knew what happened. Looking back, it's kind of a shame that she probably wrecked her future teaching career of him. Yeah, teachers shouldn't start that young with people they were allowed to bang a few weeks ago.
Story 16.
2 sports teachers were having an affair with each other, even though one of their spouses was also a sports teacher in the same school using the same dinky office. Rumor was confirmed when the 2 dudes had a fist fight in the basketball court. I feel like every PE teacher I ever had was plowing another member of staff. That the school district security guard would let you get away with anything if you give him some coke. He later got caught and fired for it. If anyone else went there, it was at Desert View High School in Tucson. Edit. I was talking about cocaine, not the soda for those that didn't realize that. And on a serious note, it's all about the Dr. P and fuck the rest. Spanish teacher was a former male porn star. La puta esta en la biblioteca.